For the tension tip, we're trying to mimic what the key does on disc 11, which is always a zero cut, while at the same time leaving room on the arm of the tension rod for any discs that might be a 5 cut, which would require a 90-degree difference between the zero cut. To achieve this, these will be the measurements we will be aiming for. To begin, we will hold up the push rod that will become our tension tip and arm next to the key to mark how deep we need to grind away so that it would be the same length to reach in to the 11th disc. Now we'll set our calipers up to the 2 millimeter mark so that we can quickly reference once we get the material grinded off that we need. Grind for a few seconds, then quench, because this will get hot. While you're grinding, make sure that you're grinding evenly through the length of the rod. It's okay to go a little further than the black mark that you left previously. You just don't want to go under it. It looks like we've got the 2 millimeters that we desired, 2 millimeters thickness, so time to move on to the next step. Now we're going to be looking for a 2 millimeter thickness on our next cut that we're making. It'll be the same length, but it'll be on a 90-degree angle to the grinding we just did. Now the flat section that we just did, you'd want that facing the ground and the tension tip to your left. And this would be the orientation that will be pushing into the grinder. And again, don't forget to quench regularly. And when you start getting closer to your desired 2 millimeters, it's time to bring out the calipers. Looks like we're pretty close. Maybe shave off a bit more, pull out the calipers. When we do so, we're going to want to slide the calipers along the length of the cut we made to make sure that it's consistently 2 millimeters thick. And it looks like we have that. Next we'll be shooting for this 3 millimeter measurement on the thickness of the head of the tension tip. And first we will set our calipers to the required 3 millimeters for quick reference as we grind away at some of the material. And we have our 3 millimeters, so we're good. On to the next step. Now with the Dremel and this tension rod and a vise, we're going to be looking to clean up these rounded edges I'm pointing out here with a cutting disc, a grinding disc. I'm just going to make those rounded edges a bit sharper. And now with our triangular file, we can come in and do the fine touches, make everything a bit smoother and a bit more to the detailed dimensions that we're seeking. Looking good enough for who it's for. Now back to the table grinder, we will be rounding the actual tip of this with the grinder taking off material, and instead of the calipers, we'll be checking to see that it fits inside the actual lock. Now when we grind, we'll be rolling it around so it takes an even amount on that half moon away. We don't want it to get get flat spots, but we will put more of an emphasis on the side, same side as of the tension arm that we did not take material away from. We want to take a little bit more material on that side from the actual tension tip head. There should be just when we get done, there should be a very subtle shelf in between the tension arm and the tension tip on that side of the tension arm that we did not take material away from, if that makes sense. Still doesn't fit. Let's take a bit more off. Almost goes inside the lock. We got about halfway in there. Looks like we can finagle it in if we really had to, but that's not very smooth. So we're pretty close. Got it all the way in, but it's still pretty rough fit. There it is all the way to the bottom. We can turn discs on the bottom. That's good. On the other side it's out of view, but I've got a wire brush on the other wheel of this grinder, so I'm just cleaning up a bit of the burrs. See if that's all we need to get this to enter a bit more smoothly. That's looking pretty good. Now we'll ensure that the picking tip that we made in part 1 fits and rotates smoothly on our tension rod tension tip, and it seems to do so. If there were any issues, we could use sandpaper or a fine file to clean that up, but it seems to be working pretty well. I'm happy with it.